everyone. Good evening. Happy Friday. How are you all doing this evening? And welcome to our CELPIP Live. I'm Kay Wilson, and I'm the lead consultant. Hi, peaches and cream. I'm the lead consultant with Northern Connections Canada Immigration. And today we'll be touching on an interesting topic, sleepy. It's Friday. So today is our, as you guys may know, our CELPIP live presentation, and I'll be here joined by Allison Chan, who is the rep from CELPIP, and she'll be telling you guys more about the test itself. So we're just waiting for her to join. For CELPIP, as you guys may know, that the express entry draws resumed just last week, right? And if you are looking to migrate to Canada via one of the permanent residency programs, then you definitely will need to do an English language test. CELPIP happens to be one of those tests, right? That's accepted. It's one of the 2 accepted tests for Canada. And so that's why we felt it necessary to tell you guys about the test, and you can learn more about signing up, registering, preparation, that kind of thing. So Allison will be diving into all of that as it relates to doing the CELPIP test. I know a lot of people might be exposed to IELTS, which is the other one. And we did do an IELTS live as well some time ago. So now here we are with CELPIP. And I think I see Allison, so I'm just gonna see if I can add her here. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys this evening. And hopefully, hi Allison.
Hi everyone. Wow, we have such a wonderful crowd here today. How are you doing, Kay?
I am doing well. I'm glad it's Friday. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. You can continue with what you were saying. What you were saying was fantastic.
Yeah, so I was just sharing with them that, CELPIP is one of the accepted tests that for Canadian immigration. I know most of the people here are looking to either migrate to Canada or stay in Canada. For those who are in Canada, change their status to something permanent. You guys also have tests that are acceptable for studying in Canada as well, right? For those who might need an English language test to study. So there are a lot of benefits to the CELPIP, as well as the other one is called the KL.
Yes.
Right. So those are the 2 tests. We may touch on the KL, but I know most of the conversation this evening will be around CELPIP. So I'll just allow Allison to take it away. Allison, please tell them about the CELPIP. What is CELPIP, and why would they need to do CELPIP?
Absolutely. I'm more than happy to tell you all about that. Before I start, I just wanted to thank everyone for for joining today, and also thank you to Kay for hosting me today. I'm happy to chat about the CELPIP and also the KL. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that everyone who is attending, you will be able to receive 2 study products for free. So I just typed the code into the chat right now. This code, let me flip it over. It's called NCI 2002. So NCI
2022.
Exactly.
Right? That's the code. All right. Let's see if we can pin that code here.
Yeah, fantastic.
NCI 2022.
So what you do is that I'm just typing the URL into the chat. Today you have until
2022.
Yeah, today you have until 9 p.m. Regina time, so CST, to redeem that discount code. So if you go to celpip.ch/store, and the product is called the Accelerate. I'm typing into the chat right now. Accelerate Reading and Writing Online Study Program.
And what did they get with that code, Allison?
It's an online study program called the CELPIP Accelerate Reading and Reading and Writing Online Study Program. And also, if you go to kale.ca, typing it into the chat right now as well, so you can all see. And then you go to -store, and then you add the Kale Accelerate. So today, you have an opportunity to get $60 worth of online study materials for free just by being in this chat, joining us on this Instagram Live. So Kale, Accelerate. Okay, yeah, so, and I will show the discount code here again, NCI 2022. So make sure you do use that discount code for both the CELPIP Accelerate Reading and Writing Online Study Program and also the Kale Accelerate Reading and Online, Kale Accelerate Online Study Program. So this discount code expires at 9 p.m. Regina time today. So that is I believe, just 3 hours, less than 3 hours from now. So make sure you do redeem it. And then once you redeem the code, you'll be able to access the products in your account for 6 months, as many times as you like, at no charge. So,
thank you so much for that, Allison. That's great. I'm sure a lot of our followers will benefit from that.
Yeah, really, thank you so much. And I just want to emphasize that I think I've worked here for a while now. And one of the things that I've learned is people who work for the CELPIP and also Kale test is that we genuinely want people who are taking the test and to achieve their goals. And also we genuinely want the institutions who are accepting the scores to also achieve their goals. So in saying that, that's why we provide a lot of research and also free preparation for you so that you can achieve your goals as well.
All right. Would you be able to tell them what's the difference between the CELPIP General and the CELPIP LS? Because I noticed there are two different types of CELPIP tests.
Absolutely. So there are two CELPIP tests, like Kay said. There's the CELPIP General test, which covers 4 components: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And that is the test that you need to take if you are planning to apply for permanent residency, or if you're applying for professional designation, such as if you want to become an immigration consultant in Canada. Other organizations also accept the CELPIP as well, such as if you want to become a real estate agent in Saskatchewan. So that's like the full components, and it costs $280 plus tax in Canada. And then the CELPIP LS, it only covers listening and speaking. And the only reason why you would take the CELPIP LS is if you're applying for Canadian citizenship. But everything else, make sure you are registered for the CELPIP General.
Right. And I think that's important to note. So the CELPIP General or the CELPIP G, that's the one for immigration. Yeah. And then the CELPIP LS is if you are applying for Canadian citizenship. That's the one that you take.
Exactly.
Right. And how is it typically delivered? Like, what's the format? How do they do this test?
Yes. So the government of Canada, they are requiring that all tests submitted for permanent residency and citizenship applications need to be done at a test center. So you will actually have to go to a test center to do the test.
Okay. And what's the format? Is it, what are the different components and what's the format of the test?
People really like the CELPIP test because it only takes about 3 hours to do, and it's done in one test sitting. And that saves you a lot of time and money, because if you think about it, you're not just going there just to take a test, but you're also you have to find parking, you have to transit there. If you have children, you have to find childcare. If you have to work, you have to take time off. But for the CELPIP, all you have to do is take time off just for those 3 hours if you're taking the CELPIP General. And if you're taking the CELPIP LS or citizenship, you just have to take that time off in between, making sure you're there at the test center 45 minutes before, and then your transit time. So people like that. It's a time saver. And another reason is also with the format, it's completely done on a computer. And people really like it because we are so used to doing things on a computer nowadays. And also we give you tools. For example, on the writing component, if you misspell a word, there will be a spell check. Like if you are typing on a word processor, a red squiggly line underneath, and it'll flag it to you so that you can fix your spelling before you submit it. That's an example. And then also editing tools that allow you to cut, copy, paste, and move things around so that you're able to have more time to edit your work and then submit the best type of work that you can during the test. And another component that people really like about the computer delivered version is that you can change your answer for the multiple choice, like the listening and reading, as many times as you like, as long as the timer hasn't expired. So,
And how many components are there in the test, Alison?
for the CELPIP General, there are 4 components: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And for the citizenship test, which is the LS, it's only the listening and speaking.
Oh, okay. Okay. And is it only available on a computer, or is there like a paper-based test as well?
We don't have a paper-based test. We have just computer delivered. So when you go to a test center, you will be doing it on a computer.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. So, and then where is this CELPIP available? Where can, or those that are joining us today, where can they do the test?
Absolutely. So CELPIP, we have over 60 test centers from coast to coast in Canada. So yeah, we're available in Canada, and specifically if you are in Regina, in Saskatchewan, we have a test center in Regina, have wonderful partners there, such as with the Regina Open Door Society, downtown, really great downtown location. We also have locations in Saskatoon, as well. In terms of internationally, we have test centers in the US from coast to coast as well. India, right now we have 9 locations, test centers. Nigeria, we are also open. In China, in Australia, in the Philippines, Japan, the United Kingdom, South Korea, Singapore, and also in Dubai. Those are some of the countries that we're open right now. So I highly recommend you go to celpip.ca and look to see where it's available.
Awesome. All right. So it sounds like there are quite a bit of locations. And how can someone who has to do this test adequately prepare and plan? Like, what tips would you have for them, and what resources would you recommend?
Absolutely. For the CELPIP test, and I think also the CALE test as well. We can talk a little bit about the CALE later on too, but right now for the CELPIP test, one of the most important things to do is making sure that you are prepared. So even if English is the primary language that you speak on a day-to-day basis, you need to prepare in the sense that you need to be ready, know how much time you have to answer every single question, and also budget enough time so that you are able to proofread, spend your time proofreading as well, so that you're confident in your answers and you're able to submit the best demonstration of your English language skills as possible. So yeah, prepare. We also help people prepare by having a lot of free webinars. If you go to celpip.ca/webinars, we have professional English language teachers who've taught for many years in Canada and also outside of Canada who run these sessions, and they're all free. They're all online. And then we also have materials you can purchase online as well. Or just to give another shout out again, if you are here today, make sure you go to celpip.ca/store or kale.ca/store and get the Accelerate, and then you can use this until 9 p.m. Regina time today. Yeah, so those are some of the things. We also have a wonderful YouTube channel you can check out as well. So that's just a quick summary.
All right. So I just saw a question here. Somebody's asking if this test expires as well. Does this test, if they did this test today, how long is it valid for their immigration applications?
Yes, so this test, your score results expire 2 years from the date of your test, and it's consistent industry standard as well. And the reason it's because it's what the institutions have requested. That's the years that the institutions have assessed that it most reflects people's English skills. Another benefit of this is actually you can use the same scores for multiple reasons as long as your scores haven't expired. So for example, if you're applying for both permanent residency and also trying to become an immigration consultant, you can actually use the same scores without having to take the test twice, as long as it's within that 2 years.
Okay. And another question that I have here, what if you register for the test and then you wanted to change your test date or you wanted to cancel? Is that an option that's available to test registrants?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to change or cancel your test date, if you want to transfer, there's a $50 fee if you transfer 48 hours before the date of the test session. But so that's for the that's for the Kale Online only. Sorry. But if we just talk about the CELPIP test, you have to send it at least 7 calendar days before the date of your test session. And if we grant your transfer request, you'll have to pay a transfer fee of $50. For cancellation, you must send it at least 7 calendar days. So basically, at least I'd say just say 8 days, but technically 7 before the date of your test, and then you will receive a 50% discount. 50% for all the fees that you paid for your test session registration if you cancel.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. And then what if the scores are not satisfactory? What if you did the test, but you're not satisfied with your scores? What do you do? Is there a time limit for doing a resit, or can they do a resit right away? What happens if they just needed maybe one component? Maybe they didn't have a high enough score for one component. What do they do in that case?
Yeah, so that's 2 questions, and I'm happy to answer them separately. So when can you retake the test? The answer is you can take the test within 4 calendar days, so like 40 days after you've had your test session. We do recommend that you do additional studying before retaking the test. So we do recommend that there's a larger time frame. And then if sorry, what was the second question again?
So like if the score is not satisfactory for maybe one component of the test, do they have to resit the entire test, or what's the option?
Yeah. Well, it's the institutions. The government has said that they will only accept full scores, tests from one score result. So unfortunately, they will not accept just partials. So you have to retake the full one. Another option you can actually do is that you can request for a reevaluation. And how a reevaluation works is that you pay a fee. It's, I think, 55, around $55-ish. Let me, but you pay the fee, and basically it's for each component, and then your request goes to the back of the line, so the raters don't know that they are marking a reevaluation. So that's why it takes a couple of weeks. That's why it takes longer for you to get your score results. And then if your scores are higher than the one you originally got, you get your refund back for that fee you paid. So for example, the $55. But if it goes, but if not, if it doesn't go higher, then we keep the fee.
Okay.
That's something you can try, though. That's something you can try.
Interesting. All right. So what's the pass mark? Somebody's asking that question. What's the pass? I could answer this. There isn't a pass mark per se for the test. the test results that you get, or the score that you're aiming for, will be based on the program, the immigration program that you're applying for. So they will all come with, a different English test requirement that you'll have to meet. So as long as you meet the minimum requirement for the program that you're applying for, then you should be fine. Sometimes you might meet the minimum, but you may want your score to be higher in order to get additional points. So there is no minimum, but the minimum, or the target score, I would say, is based on the program that you're applying for.
What a perfect answer.
All right, Alison. And then can you tell us about the academic version of the test?
Of course. So the kale stands, it's pronounced like the vegetable. For me personally, I like eating it. So it's spelled CAEL, the account that I'm using right now. And with the CAEL, it stands for the Canadian Academic English Language Test. And it is an academic test that is the same cost as the CELPIP test. You can take the CAEL either at a test center or you can take it online. And the reason why you can take the CAEL online is because universities and colleges who, professional associations who accept the CAEL have agreed that they will accept the online version. So it's more of the institution who have agreed to accept that. And it is also computer delivered, and it is also done in one test sitting. And we also only use Canadian accents, and people find that it's enjoyable accent to understand.
All right. And I saw another question about the online, doing the test online. Is that possible?
Yes, you can take the CAEL online, but you cannot take the CELPIP online for immigration.
Okay.
If you have any questions, you can ask the government.
And how do I apply from Jamaica? Somebody's asking. You want to answer that, Alison?
Yeah, so right now we don't have a test center in Jamaica for either the CELPIP or the CAEL. So you will have to
so for those who are joining from the Caribbean region, typically for testing, for CELPIP in particular, the closest test locations to you will be in the United States. So travel to the US or travel to Canada. Those two would be the closest to the region. And that's where you'll be able to access the CELPIP test if you want to take that test as an option for coming to Canada.
Thank you.
All right. I don't think I see any additional question, but is there anything else that you would want to share about the CELPIP? I know you have a code. So what's this? This live is about the CELPIP test. So doing the CELPIP English language test for Canadian immigration. All right. And we just answered that questions about centers in the Caribbean. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that Alison wants to share about CELPIP. There is a code that she shared earlier. She can share it again for those who might want to get some free resources to practice for this test. Right? So, and she's holding it up there. So it's NCI 2022 for those who might be interested. And for how long is this available, Alison?
Yes, so please make sure you redeem it in the next hour or so. I have set the expiry today to expire at 9 p.m. Saskatchewan time. So you want to make sure you're able to get these free study materials. These free study materials that you get are the CAEL Accelerate online study program and also the CELPIP Accelerate reading and writing online study program. So just add those items to your cart and then use this discount code and you'll be able to access the materials for 6 months, as many times as you like. And it costs $60 plus tax if you were to buy it from the bookstore yourself. So I highly recommend that you do use these to practice for the test.
And I see some questions here popping up in the chat. So somebody's asking, like, what's the difference between CELPIP and IELTS? So these are the two tests that are acceptable, the two approved tests for Canadian immigration purposes. And it's really up to the applicant to decide which one of these tests they would want to do for immigration purposes. So we're just looking at the CELPIP today in this live.
Yes.
Right. And somebody's asking, what is the test cost?
That's a great question. So it varies by country to country. If you're taking the CELPIP or the CALE in Canada, it's $280 plus tax. And if you are going to the States to take the test, it is, let me verify that number for you right now. It is $285 US plus tax. Yes, I can show the code again.
Question about the code again. I'll type it in the chat once more. It's NCI 2022.
Yeah, great. And remember, you go to celpip.ch/store, or you go to kale.ch/store, and then add those items to your account. So you have to create two separate accounts.
And I don't know if you shared this, Alison. So is CELPIP a Canadian test?
Yes. So we were originally developed at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. And then the CALE actually has been around since the 1970s. It was originally created at Carleton University in Ottawa. So in terms of the industry, there's always been much positive feedback about how great CALE is. And that's why when we decided to have an academic test, we looked into purchasing, and we were able to purchase the CALE from Carleton University. So that's how we now have two Canadian tests. One is CELPIP for the general test for immigration and professional designation, and some colleges accept the CELPIP as well. And then we have the CALE, which is accepted by over 185 universities and colleges.
Okay, interesting. All right. So I don't see any additional questions here. So remember, guys, she shared a coupon there that you guys can use to get some free resources if you are at all interested in doing the CELPIP. Even if you don't even know if you'll be doing the CELPIP, it would be beneficial, especially if you're gonna look to migrate to Canada. It will give you some good practice around what a test might look like when you're ready to do your language test. So make use of it. It's completely free to you this evening with that code. And thank you so much, Alison, for joining me this evening. I appreciate having you. And I'm pretty sure that our audience has benefited from the information shared tonight. Thank you guys as well for joining tonight, and take care. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me, Kay. If anyone is looking for immigration advice, please do contact Kay. I personally haven't been able to use her, but I've heard very positive reviews about Kay. So if you're looking for an immigration agent, don't hesitate to contact Kay and the Northern Connections immigration team, and that's the code.
All right, thank you.
Kay, have a good weekend, everyone.
Take care. Bye.